In this session, we will go through setting up the employee defaults and compensation tabs in the employee setup for the construction payroll in Sage Intacct. Go into the Applications module, Construction Payroll, and then Employees. You can search on the employee you'd like to set up. I'm going to search on Steve, and the employee we're going to set up today is Steve Hess. So we're going to click on that employee. And you'll notice in the first tab, under Details, there's no information. So what we have to do first is add an effective date. We'll click Add. And we'll make the effective date 1/1/2023. There's no expiration. What entity or company are they going to be under for payroll? And we're going to say it's the GC, the Timberline General Construction Company. And what pay group do they fall under? So he's going to be a weekly hourly salary. And then you're going to define what default trade this employee, if they're an office employee, they would be under office. If it's a different type of trade, a field or a union, for example, we'll do carpenter, we'll do laborer, and he's going to be a journeyman laborer. And then what you can also do, if they are tied to a union, if this is for union payroll, you could select which union, local, Steve is going to work out of for the laborers union, and we'll say it's Laborer Local 264. And that's in the trade information section. The next section is the paid time off, the PTO. If this employee is eligible for any paid time off schedule, you could list here what the effective date is. So maybe there's a 3-month trial period before the PTO kicks in. So you can establish an effective date. In this scenario, we're just going to start them at 1/1 as well. And then, based on the different PTO schedules that were set up previously, you can select from a list as to which schedule is this employee eligible for. In this scenario, he's going to be eligible to accrue payroll on an hourly basis. So we're going to select the hourly vacation schedule. In the Employee Defaults tab, you can also establish a default workers' comp code. If the code is particular to the individual employee, you can set it up here. We can say Add Tax Classification Code. I'm going to type in WC for workers' comp. I'm going to select this workers' comp setup, and we're going to say the code is 5445 for their workers' comp code. Then there's some additional information you can fill in down at the bottom for reporting purposes. Is he a full-time employee? Is he seasonal? Statutory disabled? Electronic W-2s required? Yes, no, NA. You can also track some information for the EEO reporting. So you can, you said establish race. And then there's also some job category setups here where you can select what type of worker are they. Say craft worker or laborer, and EEO. And you can pick which one they are here for the EEO report, and we'll select that as well. So on the Details tab, before you proceed to the next tab, you want to click Save, or else it'll ask if you want to save, and if you don't, you'll lose everything on that page. So click Save before you proceed to the next tab. So once I do that now, I have an effective date set up, and you can see the information in here, and this can be changed as needed as well. The next tab would be the Compensation tab. So this is the tab where you're going to establish the employee's pay rate. Now this would be in addition to any compensation table that may or may not be set up. So for example, if this is a union employee, the rate may come from a compensation table that has been set up based on the union already prior. In this scenario, we'll assume that there is no union compensation table and it's going to get its rate from here. So this employee, we're going to establish a rate as of 1/1/2023. And you can establish, all right, if he's a laborer and a journeyman, and if he gets regular hours, the rate of pay is going to be $25 You can also add additional hour types here. So for example, if they take a vacation pay, what rate did they get for vacation? And you can establish if there's a overtime or double time. If it's not based on time and a half, you can establish a particular rate here as well. So we have the regular, we have the vacation, and once we're done again in the compensation tab, we can hit save. What you can also do in the compensation tab is you can add additional schedules. So for example, if I click add, I can also say if they're a laborer and he's working as a foreman, we're going to give him an additional rate of pay of, instead of $25, it's going to be $28 an hour. So you can establish in the setup of the employee different schedules, and based on the coding of the trade and the level, it'll give them the appropriate rate of pay. Now, what you can also track in the system is the historical pay raises. So for example, for the labor journeyman, we can click duplicate here. And when we do that, we can say, and you know what? As of January 2024, for this journeyman, we're going to up them to $30 an hour. And click save. So now what you can see is a historical record of the pay raises in the employee record throughout the system. The system, again, will apply the rate of pay based on the actual work date. So if that happens to change midweek, it'll give them the old rates for the first of the week and the new rates for the end of the week. And that's how to set up an employee, the details and compensation tab in Construction Payroll for Sage Intacct. Thank you.